Greetings, booktubers, and welcome back to Grammaticus Books. What we got online for you here today is a response to my video on the problem with the three-body problem. Yes, that's correct. I'm doing a response video to my own video. It's actually more of a mea culpa. But that video, the three-body problem, which if you haven't seen it, I'll link it down in the description below. It's my most popular video to date. That's not to say that it's popular, it's just my most popular video to date as I grow the channel. But when I went back and I reviewed it, when I looked at it again, I did think that there were a couple of problems with my review of the three-body problem by Cixin. And if you don't know what the three-body problem is, it's a science fiction novel by Chinese author Cixin that was written in his original Mandarin Chinese and was originally published in the People's Republic of China. And then it got translated and marketed across the globe to enormous success. I don't like the book. I still don't like the book. I think it has literary problems that it just has difficulty overcoming. But I do think that my review of it did have a couple of issues. And the first issue is that I let my dislike for the book translate into a harsher review than I originally intended, or perhaps it even deserved. So I think it got a little bit of a harder critique due to the fact that I got a little more emotional about how much I don't like that book, and I really don't like that book. And it carried over into the review. So that was the first issue. The second issue, and this is actually a really interesting one, is I had a number of viewers write down on the comment section rationales or reasons as to why the characters in the three-body problem were kind of flat, dull, monochrome, and uninteresting, which they are. But they brought up that it could very well be cultural differences between what a reader in China looks for and expects in their characters and what a Western reader in general looks for and expects in their characters, and what an American reader and specifically looks for in their characters, that they want these vibrant characters, and that there may be a cultural difference between, the People's Republic of China and the West in how they view and want their characters to appear in their literature. And initially I thought about that, and my initial knee-jerk reaction was that this is a trope that people trot out in order to cover for defects in books that they're trying to prop up. And then I thought about it for a little bit more, and I actually thought that there could be a rationale, a solid basis behind that, that they could actually have some traction. And this is my theory as to why there may actually be some cultural differences that account for those dull characters that are in Cixin Liu's books. So bear with me a minute while I expound on this theory that I have, and then let me know down in the comments section if you agree with me or if you disagree with me, because I love reading all the comments. I do read all the comments, and I try to respond to all the comments. So I got to hit the rewind button a little bit, go back in Chinese time and history to the 1950s. You've got Mao Zedong, who's running the country, and Mao institutes the Great Leap Forward. And what the Great Leap Forward did is it reorganized the entire Chinese economy. It was an unmitigated disaster. And by unmitigated disaster, what we're talking about is it resulted in the starvation and deaths of tens of millions of Chinese citizens, tens of millions. That was followed in the 60s, starting in about the mid-60s, all the way through the late 70s, was the Red Terror. And the Red Terror was state-sponsored violence against its own citizens. And the Red Terror, on the low end, the estimates are that it killed 1.5 million Chinese citizens, all the way up to somewhere around 3 million Chinese citizens. But in addition to the citizens that were murdered under the Red Terror, there were another 100 to 125 million Chinese who were directly persecuted by the Red Terror with something short of losing their lives, meaning that you were interred in a labor camp, you had all of your possessions seized, or you were beaten or tortured. And that's just an enormous amount of people. That's over 1/10 of the population of China at that time that were directly affected by the Red Terror. And that's going to have a huge impact on the national psyche that's going to reverberate from the 50s, 60s, and 70s all the way up into 2014, when author Cixin Liu wrote The Three-Body Problem. And what it means is that if you were living in those times, in order to not be persecuted by the Red Terror, you had to live a very low-key lifestyle. The Red Terror targeted, in particular, certain groups, and one of those groups was the intelligentsia. If you were in higher academia, you were definitely going to get targeted by the Red Terror. And God forbid that you should be involved in any type of writing that was deemed to be Western in nature, you were certainly going to be singled out for persecution by the Red Terror. Or if you were an entrepreneur, some type of rugged individualist, to use the American expression, and had carved out some type of a business, you were definitely going to be targeted as well. And what that meant is, for the Chinese people who were living there under those times, in order to survive, you had to draw as little attention to yourself as possible. And I think that, the echoes of that deep psychic wound are going to reverberate down through the decades all the way to 2014. And the Chinese authors are going to be writing in that vein, meaning they're going to write characters who are within the national psyche, within the national culture, which has been affected by these disasters, these catastrophes, which means that they're going to be writing characters they're used to, and they're going to be these characters that are not as flamboyant, not as buck the system, that rugged individualist and the American in the American genre and the American literature who goes out and fights the system. That's not going to be something that's going to resonate as deeply with the Chinese audience as it will with a Western audience. And that could be a possible explanation as to why the characters within Cixin Liu's three-body problem are kind of flat and monochrome. So I wanted to give him the possible credit there, and I definitely wanted to credit the viewers who put those comments down in the section and brought them to my attention. Thank you very much. If you agree with my analysis of that and think that it is correct, let me know why you think it's correct, or if you think I'm wrong, let me know why it's wrong. I'd really be interested in it. I love reading all the comments. I do read all the comments and try to respond to all of them. So that's it for my response to my own video on the problem with the three-body problem. The other news is I've got a little reading update. I finished today. I just finished this book, which is Proven Guilty by Jim Butcher. This is the 8th book in the Dresden Files. I really enjoy this series. This is an audiobook. I got this audiobook from the library. I love my local library as a source of audiobooks. It is fantastic. If you haven't taken advantage of your local library for audiobooks, I highly recommend doing it. Even if you live out in a rural area, you're just outside of a large metropolitan area, I can almost guarantee you that your rural library is going to be linked into that larger metropolitan library, and you're going to have millions of titles available to you. Take advantage of it. So I finished that audiobook. I've also additionally in my hardback, or my physical books that I'm reading, this is a mass market paperback. I'm almost done with The Road of Azrael by Robert Howard. It's the second collection of Howard's Crusader Outrimer stories. You can see where I am. I've got maybe 15 or 20 pages left on this, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a report on that one, do a video on it. And when I finish that one, then I'm going to jump into Roger Zelazny's and the Lord of Light. This is Roger Zelazny's most acclaimed, most celebrated book. I DNF'd it. If you watched my last channel update video, I got about 100 pages into this and I DNF'd it. But for the good of the channel, I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to pick up this novel that is his most popular, and I love Roger Zelazny. And I'm going to Charlie Mike all the way to the end on this one, continue mission, and finish it up. And I'll let you guys know if this deserves to be his most celebrated novel, or if I have a different opinion on it. That could all get derailed if I pick up Conan, Titan Comics Conan issue number 4 tomorrow. That'll definitely have to be Friday's video. This one's going up tomorrow on Wednesday, but Conan is going to have to preempt anything for Friday. Also, if I didn't mention it, what I'm going to replace my audiobook with, I have a 45-minute commute in and out of work, which means I can get an hour and a half of audio listening in every day when I'm driving in and out of work, which is fabulous. I love it. But I'm going to replace my audiobook, Dresden File, with Dracula by Bram Stoker. Michael K. Vaughan, God bless him, he shamed me into reading Dracula, in this case, listening to the unabridged Bram Stoker version of it on audio. He's been pumping it up for years. I've been avoiding it for years. I've always just had this vision of it as this long Victorian saga with prose that kind of goes over the top. But I know Michael K. Vaughan loves it. It's one of his most favorite books, and I really trust his opinion on books. Our opinions do tend to line up quite a bit. So I'm going to take the leap of faith and get that one out there and see how I like it. I'm sure I'll love it. But that's the news. I'm going to wrap this up. So take care, be safe, and hopefully I will be seeing you all in the future.